Hey, it's me again. So, I'm gonna do another countdown video. I'm gonna do top 10 Buffy villains, and 7 of them will be the big bads at the end of each season. You know, the ones that have the big fights. But since I'm doing top 10 and there's only 7 seasons, 3 of them weren't considered big bads. You know. The big bads are the final battles at each season, you know, because the entire season's leading up to that battle. They fight other things and deal with other issues, but the seasons lead up to that fight with the big bad, you know. So 3 of them won't be considered big bads. Okay. But I added them because I thought they were great villains, you know. They pose a real challenge, to Buffy, you know, because a lot of villains she can defeat like that. There are a few villains that she can't seem to just beat that easily, which are the fun ones to watch her fight, you know. Okay, let's begin. Number 10 is Adam. I wasn't that big with season 4. There's only a few episodes I really loved, like Hush with the gentleman, and when they introduced Tara. I love that episode. Probably my favorite episode in the whole season. And I love the gentleman. I didn't add the gentleman on this, but yeah. But yeah, season 4 wasn't that great, and Adam definitely wasn't one of the best villains, but he was a big bad, so I did add him on the list. Because he was hard to defeat, nonetheless. You know, Buffy couldn't defeat him. She ended up needing Willow, Xander, and Giles to cast a spell and use their energy to inside her to be able to defeat him. It was the only way. So, even though he wasn't the best villain and it wasn't the best season, he was pretty strong and powerful and gave Buffy and her friends one hell of a battle. So he definitely deserves to be on the list, even as only on number 10. Okay, number 9 is Drusilla. She's not a big bad, and maybe she's not even the best villain, but she's funny as heck. She's not the funniest villain. That was probably either Spike or the Mayor. They're funny. Spike a little more than the Mayor, though. But anyways, Drusilla is completely insane, which is Angel's fault, which I'll explain. I might explain that when I get to Angel. But she's completely insane, and she did kill a Slayer. You know, only really good vampires can kill a Slayer. You know, Spike killed 2 because he's really good. But she ended up killing Kendra, and she dated Spike for a while, but she's completely insane, which makes her funny. I love watching scenes with her. She's just completely out of it, and it's like she doesn't even know what's going on half the time. She just talks, and it's like her brain's not connected to her mouth. Okay. She was on in a couple episodes of Angel too. She worked with when they brought back Darla. She worked with Darla to destroy things, and Angel had to stop them. Number 8 is the Master. Sorry he's not higher up. He was the first major villain that they had to defeat. You know, the first prophecy it told in season 1, and they mentioned him pretty early, and they kind of led up the entire season to Buffy's fight with him. But he was powerful, you know, he was the master of vampires, I guess is one way to put it. And he did manage to kill Buffy, you know. I mean, she's hard to kill, to say the least. And she died twice. You know, the second time, no villain actually killed her though. She jumped through that thing, but it was because of Glory, why that happened, but Glory didn't actually kill her. She jumped off that portal to save Dawn. But the Master ended up drinking her blood and drowning her. And Xander ended up saving her life. Number 7 is Angel, or Angelus, because he's called Angelus when he's evil, Angel when he's good. Angel probably should be higher up. I don't have much logic for this list, apparently, because he was a great villain, but I don't have him higher up because I don't really like Angel. But he is a great villain. He should probably be higher up. But oh well, it's too late now, right? But he was maniacal. Villains like him are dangerous. More dangerous than most villains. Even the big bads. Because he didn't just kill like most vampires or most demons, most monsters in general. They just kill because they kill. Like vampires, they need blood to survive, so they kill. They drink people's blood. But Angel, he got some sick thrill out of torturing his victims before. Like Drusilla, he made her go insane, kill her entire family, just completely destroyed her. And then when he lost his soul, he sent Willow a thing of an envelope of her fish all strung up on a string. That's maniacal right there. And then he sent Buffy pictures of her sleeping, not like pictures taken, but pictures he drew. And he was just maniacal. He probably should be higher up, but oh well. Number 6, the First. First probably should be higher up too. But it was the first evil, and it was the final battle, which was huge. The First didn't really fight though. Maybe that's why I have it, him or her, it in number 6, because the Uber Vamps and Bringers were the ones that were fighting. The First basically just sat down on the throne and watched. But another reason why the First is on number 6 is because it was an idiot. I mean, they almost lost the battle. Buffy was down. She had been stabbed. She had a wound here, and she was injured pretty badly. And then the first can turn into whoever's dead, because it's not corporeal. So it turns into whoever's dead. That's why it can turn into vampires, because technically they're dead. And it can turn into Buffy because she has died twice. So in a way, she's dead. Not dead like vampire dead, but still dead, if that makes any sense. But so he taunted, or it taunted her, and it made her so angry that she fought back the pain. I love that scene. Buffy was like, "I want you to get out of my face." Then they first looked all surprised, like, "Uh-oh, what did I just do?" And then she stood up, and Rhonda threw her the I forgot what it was called. Scythe, I think is what it was called. Something like that. And then she just knocked down a bunch of Uber Rams. And she was back. It was awesome. I love that scene. Number 5 is Faith. Faith wasn't a big bad. Neither was Drusilla or Angel. Yes, Angel was. He was the big bad of season 2. Yeah. But Faith was a slayer. I think that's why I have her higher up than the First or Angel, because she was a slayer. She was supposed to be good, and she was in her own weird way, but then she ended up accidentally killing the deputy mayor, and she ended up going all dark-sided, and she ended up helping the mayor. I love the episode where Buffy, Giles, and Angel tricks her, because Faith was pretending to be good for a while, and Angel was pretending like he lost his soul thanks to the help of Giles, and someone owed him a favor, and so he used him to pretend to take away Angel's soul for the help of the mayor, and then they kidnapped Buffy, and Then Faith was like, and then they've talked for a little while. And then Faith was like, "What can I say? I'm the world's best actress." And then Buffy and Angel just they said second. Angel's like second best, and then Faith slowly turned around, and then Buffy got her hands out of the chains. She was like, "Gotcha." It was awesome. I love that scene. It's not even the whole episode. I love it. I just love that scene. uh, um, but yeah, Faith got really close to Mayor. He was like a dad to her, so she helped him, and then she was like a daughter to him. You know, he was really upset when Buffy put her in a coma, and she was gonna miss the big day, graduation day. You know, his day, her day, Buffy's day, the all of Sunnydale High's day, but for different reasons. Number 4 is Spike. I love Spike. He's one of my favorite characters. He's hilarious, and he's pretty strong. You know, he killed 2 Slayers. You know, that's very hard to do. Even though Angel is probably worse than Spike because of his maniacalness, being all maniacal and all. Spike was able to kill 2 Slayers. Angel never even killed one. Just saying. But I love Spike so much. But he was strong. You know, Buffy could never beat him. But he could never beat out Buffy either. They're pretty evenly matched. I think that's why I love when Buffy fights Spike, Faith, Angel, and Glory, because when she fought them, they were as strong as her. Well, Glory was even stronger. That's why it was even more fun to watch, because it's fun to watch Buffy not being able to kill something that easy. You know, it took a lot of effort to go after them. You know, and so it's more fun to watch that way. But yeah, so number 3 is Spike. No, I said 4 Spike. Crap. Number 3 is Glory. Glory is very powerful. She was a god. You know, I love the episode. I don't love the episode. I actually don't like the episode, but I like the ending of the episode only. The episode with the council members come back, and they are trying to make sure to see if Buffy should be let back in, but at the end, Buffy just goes off on them, and she's like, "You didn't come here to see if I deserve to be let back in. You came here to see if you can be let back in, because without a Slayer, then you guys are just basically nothing." That's not her exact words, but she says something like that, which is true. Because she quit after they filed Giles in season 3, and without a Slayer, the Watchers are nothing, you know. But then she just went off on them, and I love it. But that's not the point of this. The point was at the very end. Buffy says, "I want to ask what they knew about Glory," and she was like, "Just tell me what I'm fighting." And then the head council member was like, "That's the thing. She's not a demon. She's a god." And then Buffy was like, "Oh." Buffy's face when she did that. Buffy has some funny facial expressions, but yeah, Glory's powerful, but see, she's different than most villains, because unlike most of the villains on there, she was never actually, how do I put this? She wasn't truly evil like everyone else. Everyone else was just killing to kill. Adam, Drusilla, the Master, Angel, the First, Faith, Spike. Even though they did, you know, even though like Spike and Angel did get their souls eventually, and Faith went back to being good, at one point all they did was kill to kill, because they wanted to. But Glory, she's a different story, because all she wanted to do was go home, you know. I wasn't go as far as to say I felt bad for her, but you know, that makes her different than most villains, because all she wanted was to go home, you know. But there's some foreshadowing in season 4 about Dawn coming. On the episode where Faith gets out of the coma, she was having a dream, and she says something about little sis coming. And then on the last episode, I don't like the last episode of season 4. It was when they were all asleep and having dreams about the first Slayer. It was really stupid, but there are a couple things I remember, including see, they mentioned Dawn. Like, someone said we don't have a name for her yet, and then Tara said be back before dawn. So yeah, there was some other foreshadowing, but I'm not gonna get into all that. Maybe I'll make a whole other video about foreshadowing on Buffy. We'll see how I feel. But anyways, yeah. So Glory's not like most villains. Okay, so but she was strong nonetheless. You know, the only reason why she was able to die is when she transformed into Ben, her other half, who was human, and Buffy couldn't kill him, so she ran off to save Dawn. But then Giles came back and knew that Glory would come back, so he ended up killing him. So number 2 is Mayor. You know, I mostly have the Mayor so far up because he's hilarious. And he's different than most demons too, you know, in a different way than Glory's different. Because he's so polite, you know, and it's hard to explain, but he is, you know, and he's kind of nice in a weird demon-y way, but and then he's funny, and you know, and he ended up, what was it called? Ascension Day? Yeah, I think it was called Ascension Day, which was graduation day. He would make a speech and then he would turn into a big snake, which was funny because in season 4, when right before they defeated Adam, they were all making up after a huge fight, and Xander was like, does anyone, he was like, does anyone else miss the Mayor? I just want to be a big snake. But yeah, he turned into a big snake, and vampires were eating people. That's when Harmony became a vampire, because it actually showed her. It showed someone. Well, it showed someone kill her. It didn't show someone turn into a vampire. Because to do that, to turn into a vampire, they have to drink your blood, and then you have to drink their blood. You know, like they'll cut themselves, and then they'll force you to drink their blood, and then you'll become a vampire. And it never showed that part. All it showed was a vampire drinking her blood and her screaming. But yeah, so and then they were trying to find out the Mayor's weakness, because everyone has a weakness. And then Angel's the one that said that it was Faith, because he was grieving in the hospital when Faith was in a coma. And Buffy was like, I can work with that. So she used the knife that the Mayor had given Faith and showed it to him. And she was like, remember this? And then she said something about her gutting Faith, and it slid out like butter or whatever, something like that. And then the Mayor got mad and followed her into the school, and then Buffy jumped out the window and Giles was there, and they blew up the school. And it never really mentioned the school getting rebuilt, but it probably took a while, so because in season 7 it was all rebuilt and people were going back to school and whatever. Number 1, Dark Willow, obviously. Willow was different than, you know, she's number 1 for a couple of reasons. 1, because she was one of the main characters who turned evil after the love of her life died, was killed before her very eyes. And 2, she was different than a lot of villains too. You know, other villains, they needed strength and power to be defeated, you know. But Willow, she needed love, you know. I mean, Giles even came with a bunch of power, but Willow just absorbed it, and Giles did that on purpose, because all that power tapped into the little love she had left. Room for only one person to be able to get through at that point, which was Xander. You know, I mean, he knows her better than anyone. He's her best friend, you know. They've known each other since kindergarten. They've always been so close. And Giles knew that he was the only one that could save her. And I just love that. And I just love that scene. And then she's like, oh, are you gonna save me by telling me you love me? And he was like, no, I was actually gonna try to jump you off a cliff. I thought that would be a little cartoony. And she was like, still making jokes. And he's like, no one's joking here. But I just love that scene. You know, and then he's like, the point is, yeah, I love you. I love crown breaky Willow, and I love dark veiny Willow. But you're my best friend, and if I have to go out, it's here. If you want to kill the world, you can start with me. I've earned that. Wow, that was almost word for word. I was really loving that scene, if I can say it word for word. She's like, you think I won't? And he was like, doesn't matter, I still love you. She's like, shut up. And then she started attacking him, and he just kept saying I love you, and then she kept attacking him, but then her powers got weaker and weaker as he came closer, and she started breaking down, and then she just broke down, and he held her, and he was like, I love you, and then she just cried in his arms. I'm sorry, that scene always gets to me. Just like Tara's death always gets to me. You know, Tara was one of my favorite characters too. And I absolutely loved her. And I thought she got the raw end of the deal. I mean, she went through hell and back. You know? I mean, honestly, I think she went through more than Buffy did. That's just my opinion. You know, what her parents put her through, what Glory put her through, what Willow of all people put her through. And to end like that over Warren shooting up by accident when he was shooting Buffy. That's just, she deserved a better ending than that. I know that was the only way to bring the whole Dark Willow storyline, but still, I wish she didn't have to die, or at least come back to life like Buffy did, you know? But yeah, so Willow was different than a lot of villains, but for different reasons than Glory and Faith were different, you know? Faith was different because she was a slayer. She was supposed to be good. She was supposed to fight evil, but then she turned evil. She did turn back good, though. Glory was different because all she wanted to do was go home. Willow was different because the only way to stop her was love. Buffy thought the only way to stop her was power and strength, her strength. But in the end, it was Xander's love for her that stopped her, that saved her. You know, saved the entire world. You know, and his little story about the crown, he was like, in first grade, in kindergarten, I don't know, something like that. He was like, you broke a crown, and you were so scared to tell anyone. And it was sad. I think that's how they met, you know? But yeah, it was sad, yet so sweet. One of these days I'm going to make a countdown video about Xander's speeches. I love his speeches, you know? The speech with Willow, speech with Dawn, the speech with Buffy, speech to Anya. One of these days I'm going to make a video about that. Because, you know, like with the speech for Dawn, he said he basically was saying he didn't feel important in the whole thing. But he was the inspiration. He was the heart of the group. I don't think anyone would have been able to go on so far without him, you know? He might not have any power, but his inspiration is his power. But yeah. So those are my top 10 Buffy villains. And I'll probably make a top 10 Charm villains too. Charm didn't really have any big bads like that, except for Season 8 and Season 7 and Season 6, I think, sort of. But the other seasons didn't really have a big bad, like on Buffy. So, it would just be villains that I liked, or loved, or whatever. But yeah. So, I want to do the whole Charmed deaths. I haven't done that yet. I've been meaning to do that. I did the Charmed transformations. I haven't done the Charmed deaths, right? I haven't done it, right? I don't think so. So, I will do a Charmed death soon. Maybe next video. Sounds good. So, I will see you. Maybe I should do Charmed deaths when I get the internet back. We'll see how I feel on Tuesday. So, next week, my videos will be Tuesday and Wednesday because I usually do my 2 videos on Tuesday and Friday because those are my days off. But next week, I work Friday and I'm off Wednesday because one of my coworkers is on vacation. So, but then after the schedule should go back to normal. And I'll make videos Tuesday and Friday again, but next week will probably be Tuesday and Wednesday, just to let you know. Okay, so I will see you later.